Is this war going to destroy a new crypto? That's what I actually been wondering about myself. And you look at this market, and if I don't tell you, and if you don't know the war that's happening, you think about this market and you go like, it's another day in crypto. I mean, if you look at the market, this is where the whole war situation happened, and the market basically retraced the entire move. Now, I told you here in the community as well when it happened, and we've been monitoring the market, but the question remains, what can you do about this and what is actually going to happen? Now, very important, nothing I say is financial advice. Everything right now in the world is in complete chaos. You can look at, we're gonna look at what is actually happening with the war, just a very short TLDR. But what I'm really interested in is whether, should I actually start closing my long positions? Should I open more long positions? Should I go short? What should I do? If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗕𝗏, and I bring you these daily updates. Let me just show you the channel here. You can just smash the subscribe button. I don't waste your time, 5 to 10 minutes every single day. Not here to take your time, but rather give value in a very short amount of time. Let's go. So very important, Trump announced that they are actually, targeting Iran. That comes after on Friday on the show, we discussed that they are actually postponing talks to Monday, which is kind of shocker for me, but art of the deal. You say something and you do something else. I guess that's how it works. In the past 24 hours, Iran has attacked directly or indirectly 15 different countries. So it's kind of getting out of the way. Some notable ones here that are interesting is, of course, the UAE, so Dubai, Qatar, but also you got Cyprus, you got France, you got Italy, you got UK. Now, that doesn't mean that bombs were, thrown on these countries, but it does mean that these countries, bases in different countries were targeted. We're going to talk about it in a second. Now, one of the things that was shocker for me, Burj Al Arab in Jumeirah in Dubai has been hit. The iconic building, obviously visited a couple of times. Absolutely gorgeous, has been hit, which is a symbolic building in Dubai. You've got the Sharjah Mall, so another mall, civilians being targeted by Iran as well. The UAE, the Emirates closed all their flights, and also the airspace in the UAE has been closed. And it is a genius play from Iran, because there is no technology or very limited technology for them to reach the US, and not really can do anything with Israel. They couldn't do anything with them for the past whatever years. So it is a strategic action for them to start attacking everyone, so everyone puts pressure on Trump on finishing this thing. Nothing shows this better than the Iranian missile that flew towards Cyprus. Now, they say that it wasn't that, and so we'll see how that turns out. But one thing is certain is that a Paris, a French base, a naval base, has been hit in Abu Dhabi. So that basically invokes NATO. And it's interesting because, they made a statement and they're like, we're going to talk about it on Monday morning. I'm like, bruh, there is a war. Your fleet is being attacked. And you're like, Syria, remind me Monday morning to deal with this situation. But anyway, that's kind of what Europe is. But NATO could be getting involved on a serious level, especially considering Italy, the UK, and France being attacked, and obviously the US leading this whole thing with Israel. So again, there's a lot of, the reason why it's very difficult to talk about these things, and we have to, is because when you trade the markets, uncertainty is never good. Uncertainty always relies on you. It always sits on you. And if you look at this here, this news was one of the things where I went, okay, this is probably just much bigger or broader extent that we're not even able to comprehend or see yet. There is jihad. Iran declares jihad as anti-US riots spread across the Middle East. The problem with this jihad is a religious war which calls for all Muslims. And obviously Muslims are around the globe, and this again is an added pressure to the United States that could escalate to levels that we don't really understand at this stage. So there is just a big not understanding of what is the next step, what is going to happen. One thing is certain, everybody is showing their strength, right? Everybody's saying Iran said that they are going to hit very hard, harder than they have ever hit, and then Trump comes out and they said they better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. So it's all about, power. In negotiations, everybody will try to show and say whatever they want to say, but it all comes down to legalities, and it all comes down to what has actually happened on the battlefield. And I've tweeted this and I said I actually got quite a lot of heat for this, but we will find out if Iran, the whole situation around nuclear power and this and that, we will find out if they are bluffing, right? So we will find out what will happen. I just hope for peace. That's all I'm hoping for, genuinely. Trump is saying that it's going to take about 4 weeks to finish the war. It can take days, it can take months. We don't really understand. The Strait of Hormuz is basically closed. The 20% of all oil supply in the world comes through there. Now that is officially closed. Some ships have been attacked. So it is escalating over there as well. Oil prices most likely will soar, and that will have an impact on the overall market. All that just spiced up with a little bit of manufacturing PMI. Obviously, Iran situation. The market has reacted already to futures, and it's not really a big sell-off. Jobless claims coming in, retail sales coming in, jobs report coming in on Friday. So there's a bunch of things happening. But one thing that I really want you to remember is that if you look at every conflict, every major conflicts back from the 1940s, if you look at the S&P 3 months down the line, S&P was positive to the day when it happened, right? So relative to the day. So that means the markets were higher in 3 months. In 6 months, they were substantially higher. And in 12 months, they were not, some of them, obviously, there are some things that were oil embargo, for example, in 73, or you can look at the Russian invasion in Ukraine, not precedented. No one expected it to happen. It was still down. But ultimately, the markets are recovering, and these tend to be a great time to buy. Now, I still stand with my stance. Now, my team has advised me not to do this, not to tell you that actually a pump is coming. So I'm not telling you a pump is coming. I'm telling you what I think and what I'm doing, okay? And I believe and I'm positioning for a pump, and I'll tell you why. So a couple of things. This recovery here, against all freaking odds, is unprecedented. The fact that we have a bullish structure, if you've been following the channel here, right? If you've been following the channel, you know how this works. You know what I said. You know that if you go down to the 15-minute chart in the total market cap and on Bitcoin, you have a V-shaped recovery here. That V-shaped recovery has been tested. There is a V-shaped recovery that's been tested right here at the 50%. I told you along down here, told you that the 50% coming. 50% retrace happened right here, and then a bounce happened from that level. But that bounce could not hold. Why? Because there was fears, uncertainty. And when this broke below here, I said we need to see a higher high, otherwise it's GG. Guess what happened? Straight up, we had another higher high, not only on the hourly, but also on the 4-hour chart. And I was very confident that this market is ready to rally. And then guess what? Right here, before the rally, consolidation, happened the whole Iran-US situation, okay? That said, I'm not a geopolitical expert. I'm not an expert on wars, but I am an expert on charts. And I can tell you that there are 2 scenarios that you can do here. One, this is my Bitcoin long, right? You can see it here. I made a whole video about it. This is my Bitcoin long. I'm down about 3% on it. It's a $150,000 Bitfunded account. I'm down about $1,300, which is nothing. I could just close it, take the loss, and basically don't even feel it. I lost 0.8% of the account. Nothing, okay? So I can close it. It's not like I'm forced to leave it open. I can close this trade. The reason why I'm not closing is because I don't believe, like, considering the fact that, and put this together. Trump comes out, the White House comes out on Friday, and they say, they didn't say we're not attacking, but they said, we are moving forward talks in Vienna on Monday. Saturday, they bombed the shit out of them, okay? Trump has been on this horse forever. It's been expected that at some point this is going to happen. Iran and, the US and Israel is outweighing Iran, especially now Iran bombing France bases, French bases, and Italian bases, and UK bases. NATO will potentially get involved. Yes, it could be considered. Again, we can look at World War III. Is that happening now? Could be. I'm not an expert on war. But I don't think it is here now. I don't think this is the moment where everything breaks loose and everything goes down. And if it is not, and the market didn't go below 60,000 on the news that the US is directly bombing Iran, what else do we need? Like, and I mean it. The structure is good. Been building us up forever. There is massive liquidity. There is confirmation down here. There has been the bombing directly from the US and Israel. There was a 3% dump on Bitcoin, 7% dump, which immediately got recovered. What else? Futures opened yesterday, and Bitcoin is still at $66,200. Like, I mean, be my guest and go short, but I just can't justify it. So everything aligned, I'm telling you this. I'm not opening new positions for now, but I have this long open that I had for a long time. I told you about this. If this goes to my target, which is 78,000, which I think will hit, I am going to pass this account, this 150,000 bit funded account. If it doesn't, well, then no problem, because then I'm just going to stop, and my stop loss is the same price as the account price. As I explained to you, I have a video. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I'm actually going to drop another one because it's a shocker. I'm going to show you what I discovered in the Telegram. But ultimately, this is what I think. I am long. If it gets to that, no problem. I'm not going to be sour about it. I'm going to understand that it was all aligned and I followed my strategy. And even though that there was this escalation happening, I evaluated the market and I see that it doesn't have a major impact. So if it goes to stop loss, well, be it. It goes to stop loss. But if it doesn't, I'll pass the account. I have a $150,000 account. It's that simple. It's that simple. So would I open new long positions here? Probably not. If I didn't have, I mean, I would probably open this bit funded that I explained to you in the video. I would do that because it's a no-brainer. But otherwise, I will not open new long positions. I'm just gonna leave it as is and see what happens. Obviously monitoring, and this is, as you see, it's an 11-minute show. It's a little bit longer than it usually is, but you have to monitor. You have to monitor what's happening, and you have to. I would recommend you come back every day and just enjoy the show, guys. Join in the community. I actually have it in the description, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Ciao, ciao.